everyone, こんにちは、皆さん。Today I want to talk about how I was super randomly on Japanese TV and how you could potentially be on Japanese television as well. But first, a quick message in Japanese. はい、こんにちは、皆さん、Ashuri です。テレビの番組 YOU は何しに日本へを出ました。その後でいろんな日本語のコメントが送れました。本当に心から感謝しています。本当にありがとう。私の日本語は下手ですけど、本当にまだまだですけど、日本語だけが分かる人、メッセージが言えたかったから、本当にありがとうございます。そのテレビの番組を出たの前に、あんまり私の動画見た人がいなくて、ですから、アシュリー頑張ってとアシュリーかわいいのコメントが本当に癒されます。ぜひ未来も私の動画を見てくださいね。Okay, thank you for that. So now I'm going to be talking about how I was on Japanese TV. I was actually interviewed by this TV program twice. Not once, twice. But yeah, I'll tell you about the story. But first, I think I'll include the clip of what appeared on TV. So here you go.
Hello. ジャパニーズ TV ショー
あら、なんか可愛い格好。
インタビューお願いします。
Okay.
Thank you.
すごい肌もピンクだし、
すごく可愛い格好ですね。
Harajuku fashion, I really like Harajuku fashion. So.
可愛い可愛いファッション。どこから来たんですか？ Where are you from?
I'm originally from Portland, Oregon, but I came from Las Vegas.
You は何しに日本へ Why did you come to Japan?
I'm record dance videos with my friend, so I came to visit her.
ビデオ？
踊ってみたの感じ、YouTube でアップロード。I'm just a small YouTuber.
あ、そうなんだ。
I want to do YouTube and start a fashion line in Japan.
ははは、面白い。
お金を稼ぐため踊ってみたけど頑張れ。
日本でそのブランドを作りたいって思うのはなぜですか？
日本
Because
でなんだ。
I'm very tall and I'm big boned, and not a lot of Japanese clothes fit me, but I really like Japanese fashion and Harajuku fashion, but I can't fit in any of the clothes. I have a big goal. ありがとうございます。
チャンネル登録お願いします。
So yeah, that was the video. But I'll get into how this all happened and where and why, like what? So random. I actually got interviewed by this television program twice. Not once, twice. The second time they actually eventually aired my interview on Japanese TV. Overnight, I went from 600 subscribers to around 1100 subscribers, which is a super big deal for me. And I am finally kind of a YouTuber? Not really, but I would like to think I am. But yeah, so how this all happened. This TV program is called YOU wa何しに日本へ, which basically means you, why did you come to Japan? So the first time what happened, that was actually about 3 years ago. I was in Japan after I graduated college for a 5-week hiatus. I got recorded at the airport. So it had been after my 14-hour flight, 2 layovers to Japan. My luggage was missing. It was just a whole thing. And of course, when you're on a plane, you want to wear the comfy clothes. So I was in sweatpants and a sweater. Like, I'll put a picture of here what I was wearing. But yeah, it's still like kind of cute looking. So I think that's what caught their attention and why they were interested in me in the first interview. In the second interview, that's when I actually got put on TV. But the first interview, I walked up the airplane, went through customs, and immediately I see these 3 Japanese people with a big news camera, and I'm like, what the heck is that? So I just kept walking, and then they started walking towards me, and I was really like, what is going on? And I was like, oh no, because I wasn't wearing the cutest clothes, and I had no makeup on. Like, who's gonna wear makeup on a 14-hour flight? Not me. So yeah, so they interviewed me for about half an hour. At that time, I think I was just doing vlogs, so I wasn't doing my dance videos. Actually, I'm not sure, but I think I was mainly doing vlogs. So I actually put them the interviewers in my vlog for that, so I'll put that up here. So yeah, I wasn't looking my cutest to say. So they interviewed me for so long though. They interviewed me for half an hour, so I was like, oh, for sure they're gonna put me on air. But then I came to my hostel right after that interview, and I talked to the Japanese person who owned that hostel, and he was like, oh yeah, they're at the airport all the time. Like, they always film foreigners. And then I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna put me on TV, I guess. And he's like, no. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, they film a lot of people, but it's really rare for them to put you on air. And so I was like, okay. So they ended up not putting my interview on air, which I was half sad about and half really happy about, because I looked not my best. Yeah, it was kind of sad though, because it was an opportunity for my YouTube channel to increase and for Japanese people to see my YouTube channel. So fast forward to a few months back, I decided to go to Japan again for 2 weeks to visit my friend Abigail. She's been in my vlogs before. If you've seen her, she's super cute. If you haven't watched my vlogs, go watch them. So I went to Japan to visit her. Again, I go to the airport, and this time I was prepared. Like, I was wearing super cute clothes. You saw in the interview. I wasn't expecting too much that they would be at the airport twice, but for some reason, every time I come to Japan, they're there. Like, they're always there. It's so weird. I think they track the flights from California to Japan specifically to wait for the foreigners to come off the plane to interview. So I got off the airplane, I went through customs. I wasn't expecting too much that they'd be there, but lo and behold, there they were again. And so they interviewed me a second time, and I was like, what the heck? But I didn't tell them that they had already interviewed me before, because I was like, this is my second chance to redeem myself. But I was in Japan to visit my friend, Abigail, and to record dance videos with her. So this time I actually had something to be like, oh, I'm going to do this, blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah, they ended up putting it on TV. They interviewed me for half an hour. They asked me a lot of questions, but they only put the thing specifically about my YouTube on there, which is fine. But they also put some dance videos of me and Abigail dancing, which was super cool. They almost wanted to go around Japan and film with me, like film us recording our dance videos, but they ended up not getting the go-ahead for that. I think that's because we didn't have a studio set for where we were dancing, and that video we ended up not finding a studio and just dancing in a random park, and it was like a whole thing, and it was raining, and there was a train passing by, so we couldn't hear the music. So yeah, I'm kind of glad they didn't go around Japan filming with us, but this TV show actually does go around Japan to film people and what they're doing in Japan, which is really interesting. And I don't know why Japanese people are so interested in foreigners. I guess because there's like no foreigners here, basically. So every time they see a foreigner, I guess they just want to know why they're here. Why are you in my country? Yeah, that happened. If you're interested on being on Japanese TV, I'd highly recommend that you have something to go off of, that you're in Japan for a really creative reason, a really rare reason that they haven't heard before, you know, not to just study English or something like that. Mine was, of course, that I was going to Japan to record dance videos with my friend, and that I wanted to start a fashion brand. So I eventually want to start a fashion brand, Japanese, like Harajuku style fashion brand for taller people. I'm 175 centimeters, 5'9", so I'm pretty tall, and it's a real struggle for me because most Japanese clothing don't fit me, like 70%. And, you know, also I have, like, some stuff going on up here, you know, which Japanese women are stereotypically smaller in that area, so it's really frustrating because some things that would normally fit me don't fit me because of that. So, yeah, that's why I want to start a brand, and so that was the whole thing that this YouTube interviewer went off of, which was my brand and my YouTube channel. But it's kind of weird because they kind of skewed what I said. They said, oh, she makes money doing YouTube videos, and I'm like, I don't make any money doing this. It would be nice to eventually have some side money for this, but right now I don't get enough views to get money. They changed the monetization on YouTube, and it's really frustrating because I was monetized before. Yeah, they kind of skewed what I said because they said, oh, she makes money on this, and I'm like, no, I don't. But then they, like, went down to my subscribers, like you saw in the video, and like, oh, she only has 600 subscribers. So, like, literally the day after they put that TV show on air, I woke up and my YouTube subscriptions were from 600 to 1100, and I was like, no way, because it took me so long just to get 600 subscribers. So I was like so excited. I'm like, this is it, I become famous now. Not really. Yeah, that was super exciting. And I think this TV show is also super popular in Japan. Like almost everybody watches it. Even someone I interviewed with, I'm like, oh yeah, I was on Japanese TV, and she's like, what show? And I'm like, oh, I was on YOU wa何しに日本へ. She was like, oh my god, I love that show, and my grandma watches that, so blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, it's super big in Japan. There's a lot of famous comedians on that show as well, so I think that's why it was such a positive feedback from that, of why I got so many subscribers and Japanese comments. But yeah, that was the whole thing, and every time they re-air that TV episode, I get more subscribers. So yeah, I was super happy about that. It takes a lot of effort to edit, film, and upload these videos, so I was feeling like it finally kind of paid off, and it was really nice. I'm super happy. It was fate. So yeah, if you're interested in being on Japanese TV, this is definitely a way to randomly get on Japanese TV. Just look interesting and walk past the camera, and who knows, they might film you. This would definitely not happen anywhere besides Japan. I always say only in Japan, because like, who's gonna walk up to a random person in the airport normally and just film them like, oh, why are you here? We're so interested in you. You're such an interesting human being. And I'm like, huh, this is new. This is nice. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed my little story time about being on Japanese TV. Thank you so much for watching as always. I always ask if you guys have any recommendations for videos that you'd like to see or dance covers. Feel free to leave those in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!